Very good evening, everybody. Nice to have you company wherever you're tuning in all around Australia or indeed the world on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Welcome to the start of the second half of the 2024 calendar year as far as our schedule is concerned. This is night one of week one in term 3 of 2024, season number 18 for the club. And we are zooming in on the Mazzano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli, the Mazzano World Circuit, of course, in Italy, best known as the host of the San Marino round of both MotoGP. And once upon a time, we also had this venue playing host to World Superbikes as well. I'm Zach Caban. Adam Lavis is here alongside me. Nice to have you along for the ride, folks. Apologies right off the top for the delayed start of the broadcast this evening. We are live, but we're just bringing you the main course. We've missed the entree. Now, the reason for that is because computers don't work without power. The entire Northern Rivers region of New South Wales went down with a power outage this evening, albeit briefly, but just enough to throw a spanner in the works for us. And that's because that's the part of the world in which Adam Lavis resides, our producer, our director, the main man as far as anything broadcast related is concerned here on the platforms of the GSRC. We will endeavour at some point later in the week to bring you a replay of that Super 2, Super 3 split from Road America with a packed grid, I must say, as well. Adam, good evening to you. A lot to get through here in the next 4 minutes or so. Let's see how much we can get through. After 2 weeks off, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been 2 weeks off. It's flown on by very, very quickly. Everybody at the club end of town, in the committee end of the organisation, they've been rather busy. The drivers have been in training and in practice mode as well. The commentator's just been trying to catch his breath and get his voice back ready for tonight. And finally, the dawn of a new era of GT3 racing is upon us.
Yeah, how you going? Sorry, delay. It's been a very rushed start. I was in the middle of setting everything up, and then all of a sudden everything went black. So,
oh no!
Still not even sure if I've got everything set up. So we'll see how we go.
We will see how we go. Indeed, it is going to be a lot of fun tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just cover off some housekeeping off the top here. Firstly, with the supercars, let's have a look at that schedule. Just to remind you where we're going with them this season. I mean, that's a fantastic calendar that Chris Stark's put together. He's absolutely delighted with the turnout tonight. We can only hope that those numbers keep on climbing or keep steady and stable rather than the usual plummet and drop-off that we normally have. But it does leave the committee with a little bit of an issue at tracks where the density is less than 60, which is most of them on that schedule, except for Mount Panorama, of course. Into Lagos next week, then on to the Daytona Road Course. Then we go back to Italy for a 2-week swing through Monza and Imola, then on to Road Atlanta, to Fuji International. Then we go on Oriental in round 7. Watkins Glen Cup configuration I'm really looking forward to in week 8. Red Bull Ring will be terrific in week 9. And then we finish it off round 10 at Mount Panorama. Now, this is where it gets interesting. All 9 opening rounds are 25-minute sprints. The 10th and final round, as has been tradition, a 45-minute mini enduro. And what we do know is that we've phased out the old spec supercar. The new spec, as per iRacing, is in for this season. That's the 2019 Mustang, etc. And there's a lot of speculation that Gen 3 cars aren't too far away from hitting the service, so they'll be phased in at the appropriate time somewhere down the line here. So we'll do away with supercars for the moment. We won't bring you the results from tonight's race, just in case we do come back with a replay later in the week. In the meantime, let's turn our attention to GT3, and GT3 expands this season, not just the renewed interest with the arrival of the Mustang and also the Corvette. We're very excited about that, but also the expansion back to the future in some respects, with this championship going from 2 splits to 3. Pro-Am is back. Pro and Am are the mainstays, but Pro-Am wedged in the middle there. Tonight, the first of 4 sprint rounds. We've got back-to-back sprint weeks to start the season. We will bring you as even as possible share of all 3 splits throughout the course of the campaign, ladies and gentlemen. We start with the Mazzano World Circuit, then go sprint racing from Brands Hatch, then on to Spa for the first of the 2 90-minute Enduros. Not the Nordschleife this time round, instead the Grand Prix course at the Nürburgring on July 29. Then on to Mugello, excited about that, the third of the sprint rounds. 60 minutes around Imola and Road America, a sprint at the Hockenheimring, 60 minutes from the Algarve circuit, and then 90 minutes from Fuji. Fuji's playing host to the season finale. That's an interesting choice, and it's going to throw up some great racing, I'm sure. That will be September 9. Looking forward to your company for that. So sprint rounds 1, 2, 5, and 8. Rounds 3 and 10 for the 90-minute races. The others will be 60 minutes. Tonight, our focus is Pro-Am and Pro. Pro-Am for race 1, Pro for race 2. 21 minutes off the top here. Let's have a look at the circuits that we're racing on tonight. The Mazzano World Circuit, just for those of you that didn't see it when we welcomed you in. There it is, 4.17 kilometres. Best known, of course, for hosting MotoGP, more so than car racing. 34 degrees. The track temperature, 28 the ambient at the moment. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The wind is an easterly at the moment at around that 97 degrees marker. 10 kilometre an hour winds, easterly as I say. Cloudy conditions, so I'm not sure if there's rain on the way or not, but cloudy conditions at Mazzano. Let's have a look at the grid for the first race of Pro-Am. And I should say, I think a lot of us are a little bit surprised given how much hype there was around the arrival of the Mustang and the Corvette, to see an Audi and a Porsche on the front row. In fact, there are 7 different manufacturers represented in this field. No McLaren, no Mercedes, if I've done my homework correctly here. So no love for those 2, but everything else gets a Guernsey. There are 40 cars in Pro-Am. This is extraordinary. Ryan Campbell on the pole. Or Reen, I don't know, Reen or Ryan, let's work that one out. Michael Brennan's alongside him nonetheless in the 9.5 SimSport stable. Dane Snadden and Stephen Gallacher from 2, Damien Cairns, Adam Chiplin from 3, Greg Heaney and Ryan Preston from 4, Bobby Camo and Neil De Bruin from 5. There will be some new names here that you won't be familiar with. The club going from strength to strength with some new members joining in season on season. But also, of course, as we'll get to row 6 in just a moment. Also, of course, important to note that the presence or the arrival of Ford and Corvette and a Ford that people actually want to drive will bring a few new names to the grid as well. 6 is where you'll find Sean Benici and Mark Foster. 7, Neil Gladwin, John Simpson. 8, Shannon Fever and Paul Wood. 9, Gavin Simpson, Ben Goring. And 10, Dale Sharp and Adam Hennessy. Nice to see a font change partway through the grid read here. Greg Coughlin and also Ben Brook from 11. Alan Proctor, Andrew Franklin from 12. Warren Ivan and Brian Bullock from 13. Robert McGrath, Phil Butler, 14. Declan Reinhardt and Eduardo Zamora from 15. From 16, Jim Hawkins, Matt Schmidtke. 17, Tayfun Oz Turkman and Robert Colbreth. 18, Alfredo Hugo and Joe Baldwin. Geez, I always struggle with Alfredo's name. I do apologise to him. Aidan Schultz and Brett Bradbury from 19. Tristan Koch and Nigel Seidel from 20. Although I can tell you, we've already got a few names not taking to the circuit here. No Brett Bradbury, no Jim Hawkins, no Brian Bullock, no Matt Schmidtke. But everybody else lining up ready to rock and roll. The first of 2 races for the night. The first of 14 for the campaign. The first in a new term of GSRC competition. And the first in a new era for GT3. Let's go racing early. And a new circuit for us as well. Mazzano being dropped on the server in recent times. This is the first time we've gone racing here in GT3. So it's a breath of fresh air for everybody. It's an even playing field as the field safely makes its way through the opening sector, navigating the opening sequence of corners rather smoothly and uneventfully. As Stephen Gallacher holds on to 5th spot there, having lost out to Damien Cairns in the early stages. Great to see Damien Cairns having a run in GT3. He said he would this season. The best of the Fords so far, Dane Snadden in 3rd and Cairns the best of the Corvettes in 4th. Have a look further back. Still a strong presence of Porsche and also Audi, and also Lamborghini, Ferrari and BMW in this server. And it'll be interesting, Adam Lavis, however, to see what it looks like for the AM split. Oh no, trouble. Stephen Gallacher's gone round. That's costly for Gallacher. Oh boy. Right to the back of the field. Rambo is 37th on the racetrack now. Matt Schmidtke opted to start from pit lane. Jim Hawkins and Brett Bradbury did the same, but Brett Bradbury's actually just parked up. He's done. Hawkins will get himself back onto the lead lap, this time by the line. And at the front, Ryan Campbell's taken off and built up a 2-second lead already. What's interesting here is that we're looking at Bobby Camo there in 8th place. And that line of cars is the line astern in the early stages. It's just one big freight train, moving far more effectively than what 4 lanes do either north or southbound on the Gold Coast at this time of the day. Now, let's have a look further back. Oh, trouble. Skinner at 1 and 2. And that is John Simpson. Uh-oh. Simo's had a spin early on in the piece. He'll drop down to 36th position. Same rule season on season, of course. There will be an invert top 10 for the second race. That'll spice things up just nicely. Race 1 scheduled tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for 14 laps, 23 scheduled for the second. A new season brings with it some other changes as well. Of course, Monday nights and Wednesday nights remain as they were. That Thursday night is no longer open wheel night. Open wheels moved to Tuesdays with the introductory Formula first cab off the rank and Super Formula Light second off the rank. On a Thursday night, the return of the Porsche Cup in the main course slot. The entree will be LMP2. I'm very excited about that. Now, already Philip Butler on pit lane, so too Matt Schmidtke. So Schmidtke in trouble early, and we've completed the second lap without too much in the way of incidents. Catch me if you can, says Ryan Campbell. Michael Brennan second. Dane Snadden, Damien Cairns, Adam Chiplin. Greg Heaney the top 6. There's Heaney in the Corvette going down on the inside of Adam Chiplin. Sorry, Ryan Prescott, I should say. To maintain 6th place. Lap 3 of 14. Back we go to Adam Proctor in 18th now. I didn't get to finish the point. This will be interesting, Adam. I don't know what we know about AM or of course Pro so far, but Pro-Am has a great spread of manufacturer representation, and all the manufacturers are well represented on this grid. I'm going to be very interested to see what the manufacturer breakdown's like, particularly when we log into Pro tonight.
It's always going to be interesting. Usually each split has slightly more favoritism depending on cars that people just enjoy more, because like you find with the lower splits it's more about being comfortable, whereas the fast guys just want whatever edge they can get.
Here we go. It's Neil Gladwin in 12th place. He's holding off Paul Wood. Getting a good look at the Mustang there at the moment, all over the back of Gladwin. Will Wood be able to fire it down the inside at the end of this long back straight in this sequence of right hand kinks that lead us down to this hairpin, bring us into the final sector, and the 2 left-handers that'll bring us back onto the main straight at the end of the lap? The answer was no. Gladwin was able to keep Wood at bay. Round they come, main straight again. Another lap in the book. So Gladwin in 12th place. The big movers early on are coming far down the order. A little bit of positional change going on here. Declan Reinhardt's had a moment. Reinhardt's dropping down the order. Has dropped down to 25th. Robert McGrath's on the tow rope. There might have been some cacophony and contretemps over there at turn at the final corner of the final sector of this lap number 3. Oh, bang! Declan Reinhardt, third on scene there. That'll explain why Robert McGrath and Adam Proctor are on the tow rope. Yep, round went Proctor. Nowhere to go for McGrath. Whooshka. Bang. Good evening to Dave Dench. Royal viewer, great to have him on board once more. The good news is, mate, yes, we're flicking straight into the second race of the Pro Split as soon as we're done here with race 1 of the Pro-Am. And you'll notice that the way we differentiate, if you like, or highlight which split we're showing is that GT3, the return of GT3 Pro-Am means that the graphics here are very red. The outlines, the number boxes, there's a strong presence of the colour red. Red for Ferrari, if you don't mind, despite the fact that Ferrari aren't on top here at the moment. We are in Ferrari country rather appropriately. And also Lambo. Stephen Gallacher. No need to slow down for those yellows, according to Andrew Neal. All right, but there goes Stephen Gallacher. That was his moment. We'll keep having a look here at the rest of the highlight reel, or low light reel. This is Matt Schmidtke. That's a very bizarre moment. Dave Dench is tuning in from the other side of the continent in WA. Good on you, mate. Nice to have you guys on board over there over a bit more of a civilised time of the evening over dinner. WA, of course, 2 hours behind the eastern seaboard at the moment. So it is prime viewing for them. A lot of weird losers.
Very slow speed losers here. It's like they're getting a weird bump or a weird curb or something.
Yep. Maybe a little bit in the circuit system. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, more trouble actually up the back there, and up the on this replay, Alfredo. We're back live now. We're coming towards the end of lap 5. Lap 6 starts now. 9 to go. Ryan Campbell, the leader. Michael Brannan second. Damien Cairns third. And Adam Chiplin.
Probably a good chance that Ryan might be getting promoted if he is this much faster than everybody else.
Correct. I'd say so. And I guess that's the headache of your job at the moment, mate. Trying to go through all those results sheets in these first couple of weeks.
Yeah, be a job for later. Be a job for later in the week, basically.
Absolutely. Just trying to sort everybody out again.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, so because there'll be a few newcomers, so they'll get moved straight away, and the other guys just got to wait till we get some seasonal data to make sure it isn't on off tracks. But we'll get that organised over the week.
So Greg Heaney there in 8th place, trying to get down on the inside. Oh, no, can't get it done. He's gone round, in fact. Now, whether he got into the side of De Bruin or not, I'm not sure, but Greg Heaney's looped it at the end of the back straight. Frustration for Heaney. Ryan Preston around the outside. Have a look at that. Brett Bradbury's just saying that the internet couldn't handle the pace, and Nelson's just had a moment there as well. Paul Woods just dropped down to 16th place. Already a fair bit of attrition in this. I mean, Matt Schmidtke's still on pit lane. Brett Bradbury's out of business, as you saw. Ryan Bullock didn't start. Sam Stride's in race control. That's self-explanatory. Adam Proctor's now been on pit lane for 48 seconds. Robert McGrath's visited pit lane. Philip Butler, Declan Reinhardt, Nigel Seidel have all transited the lane, and Jim Hawkins started there. Robert Culbreath, the last of the cars that hasn't been onto pit road just yet. Greg got some help, according to Greg Brooks. We'll have another look at it, I'm sure, but yeah. Oh, speaking of which, trouble. Oh, no. Right in the middle of the road, Ryan Preston. In all sorts of trouble, but they're doing very well to avoid him. Oh, bang. There's the first contact. There's the first bump and rub. And now Preston gets it off the road. And that's costly. He's dropped down to 23rd position. Down 15 spots. Here's Dale Sharp. With every moment for a driver at the pointy end of the field comes a chance to be the beneficiary of the invert pole position here. Sharp was fighting for 11th. He's now been hung out to dry. He's 12th. He could be 13th. Any tick of the clock. No, Paul Wood's going to tuck in behind him. They'll go side by side. Dale Sharp all over the back of Gavin Simpson at the moment up the outside to the end of the back straight. Can he hang tough around there? Or will it be Simpson's line? It's Simpson's line. He's got it covered off. Well done. Sharp is 12th. Gladwin is 10th at the moment, sitting there in the invert position. The winners and losers so far, 2 positions gained for Cairns, Chiplin, 3 for Commode, De Bruin, Benici, Foster, Gladwin, 6 for Simpson, 7 for Sharp, 7 for Coughlin, and also, of course, Benjamin Brook. 6 positions for Warren Ibert, 10 for Eduardo Zamora, 14 for Joe Baldwin, up to 22nd is the El Presidente, 10 gained for Tayfun Oz-Turkman, and 11 for Tristan Koch in 28th position, 11 for Aidan Schultz as well in 26th. That's it. Very good evening to you, Josh Zoido. Nice to have you on board. And fair question too. In fact, all of the Northern Rivers would be asking that question at the moment, mate, and rightly bloody so. Anyway, all is well. It is what it is. We live in a first world country, but we still can't keep the power. It's fantastic. Shannon Fever. Here's the moment coming into the final corner.
You can see on the entry curve there, you got a wobble when it just starts at the carry. Was on the slide for a while there.
Riding on board here with Adam Chiplin in the Porsche. So Audi Porsche, Corvette Porsche, Mustang Porsche, Chev Audi, the top 10. 3 Chevs, 4 Porsches, an Audi, or 2 Audis and a Ford in the top 10 at the moment. First of the Ferraris, Gavin Simpson in 11th. We're riding with Dane Snadden in the first of the Fords. And a very well presented Ford as well, I must say. It does look good for Whiskey Business.
Cool moment.
Yep, indeed it was. Off to the inside of the circuit. So Snadden goes up to 4th. Chiplin slips to 5th. Commode, De Bruin, Benici, Foster, Gladwin now still holding on 10th. But Snadden's got by into 4th place.
So Gladwin's definitely blinking Bill a lot. Every time we go near him, he's always flashing.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of packet loss issues tonight, I would imagine. Any rain in the forecast, Adam? The headlights are on. It looks a little bit dark out there.
I think there was like a 9% chance for one of the races. I think there was nothing major.
Right, copy that. We'll keep you updated too, ladies and gentlemen. We should be on air right up until the time that Alex Demonor gets underway in the 4th round at Wimbledon. Nice to actually see that they've been able to get away on time today at the All England Club. Rain delays and the like the last few nights. But yes, it's Pericard against Musetti, and they're 2-all in the second set. Pericard 1 set to the good at the moment. 4th round match, round of 16 at the All England Club. Of course, a lot of interest in that side of the draw at the moment with Demonor on centre court tonight as well. You'll see it on 9Gem first, and then over to the main channel at closer to 11 o'clock local time, depending upon the jurisdiction. Now, up onto the main straight. Here's Greg Colgan, and back to Dale Sharp, getting hung out to dry there, Sharpie. Wood sweeps around the outside. Paul Wood goes into 12th. Greg, I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed the British Grand Prix, if we're going to refer to it by its correct name. I enjoyed it until I realised who was going to win it, and then I switched off. So, no spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't yet watched it. I haven't got back to watch IndyCar yet. I enjoyed some of the NASCAR this morning, and how nice for the Americans to get a taste of what we deal with here on such a regular basis with time certainty. I mean, what rubbish that was. So they will have been feeling, the American market would have been feeling the same frustration that we feel all year round, all weekend, every weekend. Doesn't matter which category you support, at racetracks around the country. So it'll be interesting to see what's made of that and how much of a stink is kicked up from drivers, teams, fans alike. Main straight, Michael Brennan. How spoilt were we, though, during the 2-week break with all the motorsport that was on? I mean, back-to-back weeks of both Formula 1 and MotoGP, one starting after the other. We had Formula E last weekend, IndyCar this weekend, NASCAR both weekends. It's been a really good period of motorsport. And it gets better because this weekend the Australian Superbike Championships in town, the World Endurance Championships in Brazil. It's going to be good fun. Yeah, Oscar was hard done by, I must say. That was when I started to lose interest, I must say. What really surprised me, though, not to give too much away, but given the elements that they were contending with there, the fact that we went through caution-free, that was impressive from all concerned. In the meantime, let's have a look at this. Ben Goring down the inside. Oh, contact. That was not good. Bang. Yeah. When you're parked in the middle of the road like that, it's not a complete slow down and stop at turn 1 there. You do carry a little bit of speed through there. And Adam Hennessy was going in blind and then just finished the job off on himself at turn 2. And just like that, we're at the end of lap 11, folks. 3 laps to go for the race leader, Ryan Campbell, in the Audi. Damien Kansas just jumped up into second. Damien Kansas just jumped up into second. He's got by Michael Brennan. He's been chipping it away at it all night. He's been chasing Brennan. Brennan ran wide. That didn't help matters. And Damien Kansas found his way by. The slowdown cost Brennan.
Yeah, slow down again. And
boy.
The way iRacing have the slowdowns now, you got to get right off the throttle, so you can't really sort of drag him out like you used to.
They just keep reinventing the wheel of difficulty, don't they? Here is Dane Snadden in 7th. Neil Gladwin is now in 9th. Mark Foster 10th. Gavin Simpson 11th. So Foster's dropped down to 10th and holds the invert pole for the next race. 4 Porsches, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Audis are 1 and 9. Chevys are 2, 8 and 10. Only 1 Ford in the top 10 at the moment. That is Dane Snadden in 7th. We've got him on screen. Just looking through the field, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Fords that are on the lead lap. And Declan Reinhardt, Adam Proctor, who have already run into trouble tonight. Brian Bullock stitched the McLaren for a Mustang. If he wants to join us in the server, that is. Now, as far as the Corvettes are concerned, 1, 2, 3 in the top 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, yeah, about 50-50 split, Ford and Chev. And therefore, the other manufacturers that have been mainstays of this caper for quite some time are still getting quite a fair bit of love. Let's have a look at this. Mark Foster's in trouble here. Mark Foster's under tremendous pressure because he's got Simpson, Wood and Sharp hovering over him like a cheap suit. And all these blokes know what's at stake here. They know that the invert pole is up for grabs. 1 winner and 3 losers in this situation right here and now. 2 laps to go. Let's stick with this battle, Adam, because anything could happen here. Dale Sharp at the back of that pack. Paul Wood in front of him. Gavin Simpson's been holding sway in that 3-way fight and brought the pack to Mark Foster in the last couple of laps. Whoa, look at the run Wood got. Giving Foster and Simpson the hurry up on the run out of turn 2.
Oh, is that a nice lap car?
It is a lap car off the circuit, so that's okay. Play on, as they say. We're at 40 seconds to go. Will Ryan Campbell get back to the line and get the white flag, or will this fall a lap short? We shall wait and see. I don't know if Barney was waving the white last time by the line, just quietly. No, he will get back to the line. I do believe. Yeah, he's not waving the white, so let's hope that the white flag is the next one we see. 12.9 laps gone. We'll keep an eye on Ryan Campbell as he comes round if we can at him. There he is onto the main straight now. 4, 5, 6. He's got the white flag. He got there with 4 seconds to go. No one else in the field would have. This would have fallen a lap short had it not been for Ryan Campbell. Well done, sir. You can stay down in Pro-Am as long as you like if you're going to bring the pack to full race distance. Oh, Greg Heaney, what a moment it was. Whoa. On the ragged edge, on the limiter, and Heaney goes through to 14th. He's under pressure from Colgan and Ibert. Colgan in the Porsche, Ibert in the BMW. We go back to the battle for 10th. It's now a two-way fight. Foster and Simpson have lost Sharp and Wood. Sharpie's got back in front of Wood. So that would have been where they lost these two guys.
Yeah, Woodsy went wide in the final sector on that last lap.
So, action aplenty on the opening night at Mazzano in the opening race of the schedule. We'll have the AM split results for you. We'll have the second race Pro-Am results for you as well in the post-race show for GT3. We're bringing you race 2 of Pro live. We'll get their qualifying and race 1 results for you in just a few moments' time. Let's watch this to the checkered flag. Ryan Campbell's going to win very comfortably, commandingly for Audi. Damien Cairns is going to be the best place to the new cars. The Chev's going to be second across the line. But who's going to get 10th? Will it be Foster or Simpson? Simpson's got a great run off that final, right-hander as they come round onto the back straight. Have a look at that. Checkered flag in there. Ryan Campbell, well done. Kurt Nomanson saying the blackout was strange, knocked out. Whoa, Simpson, big send, big send. Here comes Foster back down the inside. These two know exactly what's at stake here. And Foster's got him back. Got him back with 3 corners to go. Simpson had a tremendous run, heading onto that back straight, made it work, but then didn't execute the exit as he needed to keep Foster at bay, and Foster comes through in 10th by the skin of his teeth. Kurt Nomanson's right, the blackout that he was talking about, strange, knocked out half his town's power. So that's unfortunate for Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt's like one town to the west, so they had a similar thing.
We'll wait and see what comes of that, whether he can get back on the grid at some point.
Joe got to slow down the last lap.
That'd be right. Oh, poor El Presidente. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. What about that? Great racing all the way to the flag. Really good stuff. Sincerely hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. It's really entertaining racing to get the GT3 season going. Better late than never for Monday Night Motorsport's return as well. The Audi beats the Chev. Damien Cairns in for second. Michael Brennan, Bobby Camo, Adam Chiplin, Neil De Bruin was 6th. Then Sean Benici 7th. The best of the Mustangs was Dane Snadden in 8th. He'll start 3rd in the next race. Neil Gladwin and Mark Foster with the invert will bring a Chev Corvette to green as the pole sitter in just a few moments' time. Great racing. There they are. There are the results for you. 13.3 seconds for Ryan Campbell. Holy smoke. Cairns, Brennan, Camo, Chiplin, De Bruin, Benici, Gladwin, Foster, Simpson, Wood, Sharp, Heaney, Colgan, Ibert, Zamora, Brooke, Franklin, Gallacher, and Baldwin. Over the page, just to get an indication as to how many we got to the flag. Everyone down to, Robert McGrath didn't get to the flag, nor would get classified, not on 75% anyway. So McGrath, Proctor, Schultz, Seidel, Schmidtke, all with work to do in the next race. 38 starters here, quite extraordinary numbers. First up in, one of 3 splits now in the new season. Dane Snadden was 21st. Everyone down to Ryan Preston finished on the lead lap. He had a shocker, didn't he? You really paid the price if you come unstuck early because you had to wait for the entire field to pass you on by. And everyone from him down to Declan Reinhardt, Philip Butler, I should say, in 33rd, actually finished a lap down. Brilliant stuff. these are the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. We are live and free across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Week 1 of Term 3, up and away for you. All made possible thanks to Waste Options, as well as all of our other great sponsors here. Thank you, Adam Lavis, Sprayton Cider, Orbic Australia, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. Also, a merch store, merch.tgsrci.com. Big thanks to everybody for their ongoing support of this club. Rain, thank you. Ryan, Rain, I had no idea, thank you, at the start, and I said as much on the broadcast. I appreciate it. That you got back to us eventually. Well done. And congratulations on your imminent promotion up to the pro split, I would say as well. Right. Let's take a break. Let's switch servers. Let's get you across to GT3 Pro on the other side of this from the same venue. Race 2 of round 1 for them when we come back. The platform's the GSRC as night 1 of term 3 continues.
Push me around while I try not to break. You love the things
Nice to have you along, folks. Bugger all time to muck around here because the cars are out to line up on the grid for race 2 of round 1 of GT3 Pro with thanks to Waste Options. Monday Night Motorsport continuing for you on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. The first time in term 3 of 2024. Week 1, night 1. How good's this? There are the results from qualifying. Richard Mitchum, Matty Dench, and Benny Woods, the top 3 there. Hayden Luthwaite, Nick Wood, Sergey Zagorkas, and then, of course, Brenton Hobson. Hey, Hobbo's having a run at GT3. This will be good. Aaron Cooper, Eli Donaldson, and Jackson Dial, the top 10. As we have a look at the results from race 1 for you, and the first bragging rights of the new season, Matty Dench. What a surprise. 3.76 on everybody else. Richard Mitchum was second. Benny Woods, Adam Luthwaite, Aaron Cooper, Nick Wood, Brenton Hobson, Eli Donaldson, Mark Gomez, and Sergey Zagorkas. He was there in 10th place. Adam Burhop, 11th, just missing out on the invert. Let's have a look at the grid for this one for you, folks. Huge grid lining up here, 32 cars. So not as big as Pro-Am, but still big in its own right, and that'll be more than enough to keep us occupied for the next 37 minutes around here. 6 o'clock in the evening, as you can tell, it's still daylight. Hello, Queensland. Hello, Western Australia. Hello, the Northern Territory. That's what daylight saving looks like. 25 kilometre an hour easterly winds for you, 24 degrees the ambient, 29 on track, partly cloudy conditions, 71% humidity. And Sergey's on pole position, Mark Gomez alongside him, Eli Donaldson, Brenton Hobson, Nick Wood, Aaron Cooper, Aidan Luthwaite, Ben Woods, Richard Mitchell, Matty Dench make up the top 10. Denchy in the Chev, by the way. Burhop Arnott from the 6th row, Trup Fung Wong, David Baz, David Johnson, Jordan Malcolm from row 8, David Bernays, Dave Riddell, Andrew Dutch, and Fred Kahn make up the top 20. Good to see Dutchy back on the grid too. Jeff Adams, Josh Barry from 11, from 12 it's Michael Schroeder, William Yarwood, 13 Jack Rogers, Jackson Dial, 14 Brenton Jewell and Brady Baldwin, Colby Cowam and Jonathan Hooper from the 15th row of the grid. 16th row, Mikey Hammond and Blake Fitz, but they're parked up and playing no further part here. There is just the 30 of them, ready to rock and roll. We'll get through the breakdown of manufacturers, etc. in just a few moments. Great to see still a good representation of Audi and Porsche here, with a sprinkling, it's fair to say, only of the Fords and the Chevs, led by Brenton Hobson in a Mustang. Let's go to work! Great Good an Italian style for you on a Monday night on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. And that's a clean getaway from all and sundry, or geez, not entirely. A little bit of hip and shoulder, a little bit of argy-bargy. I reckon that was that Matty Dench that just gave somebody a touch there? Maybe an Adam Burhop. We'll wait and see. Yep, it was. He was the first one caught up in contact through turn 2 there. Burhop's jumped him at the start. Mitchum has held on to 9th place. Aaron Cooper's dropped down a spot. Aidan Luthwaite's up 1. Nick Wood's up 1. Eli Donaldson's up 1. Gomez is getting by Donaldson on the back straight. Oh, trouble! 2 cars wide. Off the circuit and into the wall. David Baz and Glenn Arnott. Meanwhile, back onto the back straight we go. Have a look at this. Sergey Zagorkas is he's got the better of everybody off the line. Donaldson around the up the inside rather of Gomez, and Woods there as well, looking to swoop as they hit the right-hander and get on the brakes for the next right-hander. It's a sequence of 4 of them. Touch, contact, gone. Nick Woods in the grass. Nick Wood's going to plummet to the back of the field. Can you believe that? Aidan Luthwaite up into 5th now. He's got Aaron Cooper and Ben Woods and Adam Burhop and Richard Mitchum and Matty Dench for company. And of course, Nick Wood's departure is to Matty Dench's benefit. Up 1 spot. Adam Burhop's up another spot, having got by Richard Mitchum as well. So Mitchum and Dench yet to make tracks. Yet to make any progress here. They remain exactly where they started this race. Sergey Zagorkas with the fastest of the race off the line, 1:39.833. Donaldson there in 2nd spot. Audi 1, 2, and 7 and 9. There are 2 Fords, 2 Lambos, along with 2 Fords, 2 Porsches, along with a Lambo and a Chev in the form of M. Dench in the top 10.
Well, you remember we were saying it was going to be different? It's just Audi and Fords with a couple of sprinklings.
Well, that's right. Yep, it's extraordinary, actually. Audi's maintained a very strong presence here. Nick Wood down to 26th position. He's just got by William Yarwood again. Glenn Arnott and Brady Baldwin right down there at the back of the pack. David Baz on pit lane, having been involved in an early incident, of course, at the end of the back straight. Hayden Luthwaite in the Lambo. So there's, see again, so we got Porsche, Ford, Lambo, Chev, BMW, and Ferrari represented in this split. And off goes Andrew Dutch just quietly. Dutch is gone. So no McLarens, no Mercs. That's what I can tell you from all of that. Audi, Ford, Porsche, Lambo, and Chev all in the top 10. And as I say, further down the field, you've got a Ferrari and you've got a Bimmer as well. Good old William Yarwood flying the flag for the BMWs, and so too David Johnson. They're about the only ones. Oh no, Adam Burhop's gone round. Adam Burhop has gone around. And cue the comment from Graham Stewart if he's tuning in. You can just feel it coming. Burhop's plummeted down the order. 3 wide. Whoa, look at this! Hip and shoulder on the grass. They're both bang! That's a 3-car incident that could have easily been avoided. Who was the orange car? That was Colby Cowm, I think. Yep. And he was in the grass, out of control, halfway down that back straight. Did he get squeezed? Good luck, race control. Wow, what a moment this was. Tried to make it 4 wide on a circuit where you shouldn't be going 4 wide. Once he ended up in the grass, that hip and shoulder, that was it. Gone. Brenton Jewell on the tow rope. I missed who the other one was that was involved in that. Michael Schroeder's dropped 5 spots. It could have been him. Glenn Arnott's also been caught up. Andrew Dutch has dropped 4 spots. Arnott's dropped 13. Burhop's dropped 9. Some big losers in the early stages here at Mazzano. That was off the scale. We won't see too many more moments like that this season. The whippersnipping just got taken to a whole new level. Oh boy. Nice to have you along, folks, as we catch our breath here, 5.5 minutes into the feature. Remembering next week, we've also got sprint racing. The week after, it's 90 minutes. So some great racing to come on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club in the early stages of Term 3. Brands Hatch next week. Denchi loves Brands Hatch, so the entire field will be on notice from the outset. Circuit to Spa-Francorchamps to follow that, where we'll bring you the Pro-Am split, of course. Next week we'll bring you the Am split for the first time this season with their sprint race, and we'll bring you the feature race for the Pro. Here's Brenton Jewell. So Brenton Jewell was caught up in this as well. From his angle, this will be a wild ride. He was the innocent bystander. The other two were the ones that were getting into each other, Cowam and whoever that was in the green car. And Brenton Jewell, the unlucky one. Ben Woods in 7th. Look at the log jam of traffic here. David Baz out of business, done for the night. Michael Schroeder in 263, still on pit lane. Brenton Jewell still on pit lane. They will be for a while. They don't have fast repairs in the Pro split. Colby Cowam's persevering with a wounded car, down in 27th position. And Eli Donaldson sits 2nd. Gomez is 3rd. So again, fast part of the race. More 3-wide action here. Oh, hold your breath once more, Australia. Bernays. Yields in all. Oh, geez. Have a look. That's Adam Burhop, isn't it? Coming down on his inside. It was indeed. Burhop back to 19th around the outside now. Going very deep, too deep. Try and get the run. The drag race down the back straight. Burhop's there. Bernay's on his inside. Heading down to the 4 right-handers at the end of the back straight. Trying to get a toe from that chasing battle pack of Jeff Adams and Jack Rogers. No one wanting to give an inch here in the early stages. Somebody tell these blokes that it's a 23-lap race, please. You can't drive GT3 cars the way you do Formula V, lads. Gomez down to 6th place now. Gomez is dropping ground. Gomez has lost out. Floodgates open. Hobson's gone by. Cooper's gone by. Luthwaite's gone by. Gomez, despite setting the fastest lap of the race last time, round 1:35.907, has had a moment and he's dropped 3 spots. Sergei Zagorkas is continuing to lead this race in the Audi. Eli Donaldson is 2nd. Audi 1-2. Hobbo is 3rd. The old experienced hand of supercars normally. We've got him in GT3 for a change. What a privilege for us. Here's Gomez. This was the moment.
Slow down.
He's just pulled to the inside with a slowdown, yeah. And he's had to yield. That's unfortunate for him. Really unfortunate. He's got Richard Mitchum for company now. Matty Dench is slowly but surely working his way through this field up in the 6th spot. You just saw him at the left side of your screen there. The left side of shot. There he is. Top of shot. Bang. Gone. Straight through. Ben Woods following him. Mark Gomez is 8th. Richard Mitchum. Truk Fung Wong. It's a freight train from Donaldson all the way down the order. Zagorkas is out to a 3.5 second advantage at the moment, folks. 9.5 minutes gone. We're in the closing stages of this opening instalment of Monday Night Motorsport for the new term. We will let you know somewhere down the line what's going to happen with the supercars, whether we can get a replay of that for you. Another slowdown there, this time for Benny Woods. Mitchum got on by, so too did Gomez. We're a quarter of the way through this race in terms of lap distance. Oh, contact. Brady Baldwin and Colby Callum again. Baldwin coming off worse for wear this time round. But yeah, this is normally race 3 of 3 for the night, but it's race 2 tonight for you folks. We'll have the results from the other splits for you very shortly. We'll have the post-race show as per usual. We don't believe there's any rain in this forecast. The sun appears to be out at the moment, so we've got our fingers, toes, and everything else crossed.
Well, there's a bit dreary in the background there, but
it is. But we've also got a pit stop sequence coming up. We should be in that window any tick of the clock so that you can stop, splash and dash and get to the line. It's all happening in Italy. Doesn't appear to be any rain on the way. There you go. So we are good to race to the checkered flag. I'm sure we'll see some rain throughout the course of the season at some point.
Yeah, there's a few patches here and there on the rolls that I had when I created the service. So, as I said, it was only like a little 29% chance. So it's it would be maybe a sprinkle at best, maybe somewhere. I've
been in places when there's been 5% chance of rain and we've still got the rain. Uh-oh, and Benny Woods has slowed down again.
So I think so. Hobbo.
Gomez has cut up at a 6th. And Hobbo's the one plummeting down the order now. Hobbo's in a little bit of strife here. Got hung out to dry there, had to tuck back in, chasing Gomez. So Dench is up to 5th, Luthwaite up to 4th, and Brenton Hobson has been gobbled up. Chewed, spat, and swallowed. Let's have a look at Josh Barry here in 14th at the moment. Door open. Fred Kahn's right there. The new liveries look fantastic, by the way. Well done to all concerned responsible for looking after their respective team liveries for this season. Everybody's done a bang-up job. We were told that the Chev Corvette was not the easiest one to put together the livery on. But that's iRacing for you. They give you a new car, they give you a new challenge in every sense of the word. Trying to master the setup and the livery. Greg Carnes just lost out to Jackson Dial. And in comes Brenton Hobson. Woohoo! Right on that 13-minute marker, 24 minutes to the checkered flag. Is Hobo going to be right to get us?
I think he's going to reverse strat, but
yeah,
will he get
he's
traffic?
He's going to reverse strat, but will he be right to get to the flag from here? He should be, surely. Oh, and it will be interesting to see if the reverse strat works for him. Adam, as you say, traffic's the only factor he's going to have to consider here.
Yeah, it's like Winton. It's like a weird chicane thing. I keep getting a crash marker for people leaving the pit lane.
Oh, lovely. That's going to keep us going all night, isn't it? That was a moment for Chuk Fung Wong. Unlucky.
So Gorkas here, he's making hay. So you get Hobbo's slowly picking him off. Oh, no, Hobbo, sorry, Denchi. But he's got himself a 5.5 second lead here, so he's doing all he can to get away from these guys and maximise his chances of still being in the lead at the end of the race. So let's see how he goes.
All credit to him. Busy time of the year, of course. Rest day for the Tour de France, but Wimbledon's on tonight. We'll give you some updates shortly and a reminder of where you can catch it. State of Origin's not too far away. The Olympics are just around the corner. What a great time to be a sports fan, but filtered or mixed in with all of that somewhere is a sprinkling of motor racing, including tonight. 3 broadcast nights this term as well, folks. Looking forward to that. The return of IndyCar this season. Very exciting. Good evening to Mr. Hain, missing this week, but looking forward to getting back into action. We're looking forward to seeing you back in action too, mate. Looking forward to seeing what comes of the return of the Porsche Cup on Thursday night. Daniel Correa-Sar and I will be with you for that one. Join us from 7:25 Eastern Standard Time for Thursday Night Motorsport. LMP2 first up. That's going to be fantastic from the Jello. Whoa, big send from Aaron Cooper. Can he pull it up? Yes, he can. But the up and under works against him, and Eli Donaldson gets back to second. Cooper's still there on the inside, still forcing the issue with the Porsche. Down the inside he goes. And a little bit of a love tap there on the exit.
Donaldson was going to go for the crisscross, but Aaron Cooper was well aware of that and blocked it off.
Yep. And look at what they've done as well. They've invited Luthwaite and Dench into the fight. Sergey's gone, 6.5 seconds up the road. It's his to lose from here. Cooper with the big send down to the end of the back straight. Dench down the inside, diving, got him! Dench gets by Luthwaite on the inside. The charge back through the field for the Corvette is on. Chevy up into P4. Into pit lane comes Eli Donaldson. He's getting out of this garbage. Well, getting a start right in terms of when the lights go out, not before they've extinguished. Yes, I know what you mean. The starts aren't the problem, it's just the timing of them. Aidan Luthwaite, Eli Donaldson, Dave Riddell, Chuk Fung Wong, Andrew Dutch have all made their way into pit lane, folks. We were watching Aidan Luthwaite in 4th. He's following Matty Dench in 3rd, Aaron Cooper 2nd. Cooper is trying to fend off an attack from the 10-time GT3 champion. It's 10 GT3s and 9 Porsches now. That absence of Porsche last season has made has unevened the numbers, unbalanced the numbers a little bit, but he's still undefeated through 2.5 years of GT3 racing, is Matt Dench, and this will be a big test for him this season, of course. Can he get his 10th Porsche title? We'll find out when that defence starts on Thursday night, and Mark Gomez is in 15th right now, so Donaldson and Gomez are the first 2 to have pitted. Hobson the 3rd is, about 3.8 seconds separating those 3 cars right now. So they haven't come out anywhere near one another. they've all got clear air. They can all go about it at their own pace. What's interesting for mine is Sergey's advantage over everybody. 6.5 seconds. Aaron Cooper next best. Under serious pressure here from Dench. One GT4, one GTE, etc. and so forth for Matty Dench. Have a look at the trophy cabinet is full. In fact, they're actually going to have to build a new home at the Dench headquarters, a new room to accommodate all of Dench's trophy cabinet because it's outgrown the current one. The accolades and the achievements of this bloke in this club. Have a look at him now. Around the outside of Aaron Cooper. Are you kidding me? Denchy on the march to second. Right around the outside. Cooper's hanging tough. He's forcing Dench to go the long way round. Invitation accepted by the number one. What about that? That is as good as you will see from the master. Aiden Luthwaite wants a piece of the fight as well. One tap with Cooper. They're still rubbing paddles. Hello, 90. Nice to have you on board for the first time this season. And Luthwaite now under pressure from Richard Mitchum. Benny Woods is in this as well. And Dench has said goodbye to that pack of chasing cars. He's put a second on them. 12 laps to go, 11 this time by the line. And Matty Dench has got himself up in a second. Now he goes about the business of trying to track down Sergey and wipe out that 7-second deficit. What will be interesting is the lap times this time round. Zagorkas compared to Dench. That's going to be the telling factor here. Now that Dench has brought clear air, just how fast can he go compared to the rest of the pack? And I don't know if there's any benefit in doing any fuel saving here for him right now. They both did a 36.35 last time by, but let's be perfectly honest, the first sector of that lap for Dench was compromised. He wasn't on the racing line, he was hanging tough right around the outside. So now that he's got clear air, what can he do? Whoa. Oh, wow. He was 4 tenths up on Zagorkas to the first split. The deficit is now 6.5. He's already checked out and said goodbye. Ben Woods has come in and out of pit lane without too much of a fuss. He's now sitting down in, it's going to be 15th place. 12th place, actually. Donaldson gets by to make it 13th. But he's wedged himself in between Donaldson and Gomez. Hobbo's 2.5 seconds further back. Everybody else has stopped. We've lost Michael Schroeder. We've lost David Baz. We've lost Brenton Jewell. Jack Rogers is out of business. Brady Baldwin's out of business. Will Yarwood's been on pit lane for 7 minutes now, so he's done for the night as well. We're down to 23 because Andrew Dutch has just parked up too. We're down to 23 runners on the circuit. Nick Wood's stop was 50 seconds, so he might have got to stop and hold there. And that's seen him drop now a lap. He's a lap down on Zagorkas. So that's Wood at the end of the main straight there, just going through turn 1 now. You're riding on board with Matty Dench. You can see Nick Wood. You can also see the race leader, Sergey Zagorkas. In comes Josh Barry. So just 10 cars yet to complete their scheduled pit stop here. We're whittling down. We're cleansing the field bit by bit here. Sergey leads by 5.2. Denchi's punched out the fastest number of the night, 1:35.3, compared to Sergey's 1:36.4. Denchi's on a mission. He's got a point to prove here. First bragging rights up for grabs. Richard Mitchum put Audi on top in qualifying, but Denchi put Corvette on top in race 1. He's looking to do the same in race 2. Aiden Luthwaite all over the back of Aaron Cooper right now. Doing a great job in third is Aaron Cooper, but under serious pressure here. Under the pump from Luthwaite and Mitchum. Mitchum trying to track down Luthwaite, trying to find a way by. Luthwaite, if he doesn't put a foot wrong, Mitchum might have real difficulty in trying to find a way by and execute a manoeuvre.
The other thing too, is our pitters have all come together as well, so they're having their own little battle here.
Yep, that's Woods, Donaldson, Gomez.
Woods.
Hang on. Oh, no, Woodsy's gone round. Can you believe that? And speaking of having gone round, Hobbo's parked up too. What has gone on there? Hobbo's gone. Hobbo's out of business. I think we might have an issue of packet loss there. It's showing us 12.07. He only stopped on lap 8. I think Hobbo's had packet loss. So the internet gods are wreaking havoc tonight, not just on this side of the fence, but also that side, it would seem. Hobbo's night done. The charge in the Mustang falls short of the mark. We're past half race distance. Malcolm and Mitchum on the pit lane. There is Richard Mitchum. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I don't need to tell you what's going on there, folks. That is a stop and hold for Richard Mitchum. Here's why. And he'll know it too.
Green. He touched the green. He touched the green.
Yep.
Cardinal sin, don't touch the green.
Do not touch the green. And also, I mean, the blend line there, that white line on pit entry.
iRacing isn't as strict on the actual blend lines, but it is once you get to the painted sections where it actually divides from the track.
Yep.
The blend line on the exit as much. Well, basically, it's more like the blend lines. If you get to the first cone, or once you get to the cones, that's when the blend lines are counted. But it's the painted sections once the track ends. It don't really pings you for those.
Copy. Wow. Adam Burhop, catch your breath, folks. That's been an exhilarating 24 and a half minutes of this feature race. Burhop down the inside.
Mitchum still was 49.52.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. That's Dave Riddell and Adam Burhop just exchanging barbs on the racetrack. Burhop eventually gives way. Burhop pulls through. Ford moves up into 14th, and the next target is Jordan Malcolm. Fred Kahn and Jackson Diallo are in the pit lane as well.
And Jeff Adams has made a strategic error of taking tyres in a sprint race, so his pit stop is 10 seconds longer than everyone else.
Oh, no. See, this is what we love about night one of any term, ladies and gentlemen, let alone term 3, 2024, week 1 up and away. We always get a few people a little bit rusty at opening night, just blowing out the cobwebs, making those little 1% mistakes that are so costly. In comes Sergey, in comes Dench. Oh, wow. Denchy is close to within 2 seconds of Sergey. Have a look at this. David Johnson also in. Is this the critical number for Colby Calm as well to cleanse the field? We're about to find out. Should be. We're at that 26-minute marker. Out goes Dench. Out goes Dench. Goodbye. It's Dench and Sergey to the end of pit lane. Bumper to bumper. In fact, Denchy's inside Sergey at the moment. Are you kidding me? Denchy's going to take the lead on pit lane in ghost mode. Get out of here. Write the check now. It's Denchy's race to lose in one of the more incredible pit lane exits you're ever likely to see. Dench leads at Mazzano. Is there anything the great man can't do? He's now invisible.
He just got enough to get that clipping. Yeah, once that clipping starts, it doesn't go away until you separate. And Denchy being Denchy, he wouldn't have been using the pit limiter, so he'd been just creeping a little bit on Sergey, as Sergey was in the limiter. And that just managed to probably a bit cheeky. And
very cheeky.
Depends on how race control see it, but like it's one of those in sim things. It's a bit trickier to judge because it's sort of not, you shouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Oh boy, this is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. Gomez in 6th place, chasing Donaldson. This is for 5th on the racetrack. And look at what that's done. Look at what the pit lane sequence has done to this race field. Yeah, how was that not car contact on exit? Well, a bit hard when you're already conjoined on pit lane. Matty Dench in a Chev leads the way. The Audi of Sergei is 2nd. The Porsche of Aaron Cooper is 3rd. The Lambo of Aidan Luthwaite is 4th. And that is 4 different manufacturers in the top 4. Beyond that, Audi, Porsche, Audi. There's a BMW in 8th and 2 Fords making up the top 10. There are 6 different manufacturers in the top 10. And there are only 6 manufacturers left in the race. Because Blake Fitz was in a Ferrari earlier in the night, but he'd already parked up. Oh no, Adam Burhop's night goes from bad to worse. At least it looks good when it's doing donuts on the racetrack.
I don't think race control will be very happy with that.
I wouldn't imagine so. No. He's on pit lane now anyway, so it doesn't matter. He's been there for a minute and a half. He's not coming back out, I wouldn't imagine. Eli Donaldson sitting there with Mark Gomez for company. 6 manufacturers started this race. All 6 have somehow made their way into the top 10 here. William Yarwood's coming back out onto the racetrack down in 25th at the moment. He's been on pit lane for 15:20. So, and that's 15 minutes and 20 seconds, folks. Oh, look at this. Gomez and Donaldson. Gomez up around the outside. Donaldson fighting for dear life to hold line, hold sway on the inside. Gomez around the outside onto the main straight. Gomez around the outside, contact. How did he save that, Eli Donaldson? Oh my goodness. That's the save of the night. That was on a one-way track to the concrete wall, and he saved it. Look at the argy-bargy here. For 5th, I need to stress and emphasise. Left, main straight, both of them wide on the limiter, contact. Whoa! What a save from Eli Donaldson. He's lost out to Benny Woods as well, but it could have been worse. It could have been curtains. Race control's got a bit of work ahead of them tonight, I think, Adam Lavis, just quietly. Matty Dench, Sergei Zagorkas. That's 1.7 the margin. Aaron Cooper, Aidan Luthwaite, Mark Gomez. We've picked up Fred Kahn in 11th, chasing down Jordan Malcolm in 10th. So this is the first real taste we've got of Corvette v Mustang this season. The Mustang of Malcolm versus the Chev Corvette of Kahn for 10th in the car race. Biggest winners and losers in all of this. Denchi up 9, Josh Barry up 13, Jackson Diallo up 14, Colby Callum up 13, and Jonathan Hooper up 12. Adam Burhop on pit lane has been for 3.5 minutes. 18 laps is where you need to be classified here. Of all those still running, only Adam Burhop and William Yarwood are yet to get there. So everybody else has managed to stay on the lead lap, even Nick Wood, despite the 50-second stop and hold. 19 laps gone, 4 to go. We're on lap 20. We're at the 31.5-minute mark of this race. So we're not too far away from our full scheduled distance here. There'll be just 3 laps to go for Denchi next time by the line, and it won't be a problem on time. We'll get there just a smidgen after the 37-minute marker if I've done my sums right. Which won't matter because we'll get the white flag somewhere between the end of the 36th minute and the start of the 37th. Dench, Zagorkas, then head all over the back of Cooper like a cheap suit. Benny Woods hovering in 6th place with Gomez. And so there's 2 battles alive and well inside the top 10. And now this one, Fred Kahn, a big dive. Too deep. Overcommitted was Fred Kahn on Jordan Malcolm. Did well not to clean Malcolm up. Did well not to clean himself up. And now he'll have another crack. He'll set up and go again. He's got 3 laps to try and do it as well. Dench the fastest lap of the car race. And I think I'm right in saying the only one in the 35s of anyone on the racetrack. 35.383.
No, what's he did? There's a few. There's a few that did it. Luke Waite's done one. Gnome's done one. Woodsy's done one. So
Yep.
So
Gotcha.
Handful of have stuck at 35, but Dench's only one in the low 35s.
Yeah, 35.8. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the last column, not the best column. That's my mistake. See, even I'm rusty on a Monday night. 35.8, 35.8, 35.9. So yeah, only 4 drivers in the 38s. Only one of the in the 35s rather. Only one of them sub 135.5. But so yeah, Denchi's pace is half a second quicker than anybody else on the racetrack. Just to emphasise the margin there for the great man, the number 1 in the Chev. Have a look at him. Gomez in 5th place. He's being hounded by Benny Woods here. Eli Donaldson, David Johnson, Josh Barry and Jordan Malcolm the top 10. Fred Kahn is 11th. Jackson Dial, Chuk Fung Wong, Dave Riddell, David Bernays and Colby Cowan take us back to 16th. Richard Mitchum is 17th. Jonathan Hooper, Glenn Arnott and Nick Wood, the top 20. So yeah, Adam Burhop, and even though William Elwood's got back out there, he won't be classified because he won't make 75% of the race distance. So that is going to impact the finishing order here. High attrition rate tonight. We started with 30 cars. We had 32 in the server. Michael Hammond and Blake Fitz have played no further part here. Not sure when they exited. Might have been race 1. But already Schroeder, Baz, Jewell, Rogers, Baldwin, Dutch, Hobson and Adams on the retirement list. Yarwood will get an NC next to his name despite seeing the checkered flag, and Burhop will unfortunately get a DNF as well if he stays pit lane. If he can get back out there and just get one more lap in the can, he'll get 75% and he'll get 21st, and he'll get the handful of points that go with that. Just updating you at Wimbledon, Pericard and Musetti locked at 1 set apiece, but Musetti's got the advantage 5-3 in the third. Pericard looking to hold his serve to stay in the set, but he's just actually given Musetti a second set point. So Musetti looks set to take this third and take us to a fourth, with Pericard up against it, then needing to win the fourth to take it to a 5th set. That one, of course, happening on one of the outside courts. The centre court's about to burst into life for day 8 of the championships, starting with Alex de Minaur at 10 o'clock. You can see that game on 9 Gem until 11 o'clock local time, at which point it'll switch over to the 9 network. So that'll be a little bit, the viewers in WA will barely see any of de Minaur on Channel 9 by the time it switches over. Here's Aaron Cooper in 3rd place as we return to motor racing talk. Aaron Cooper holding off Aiden Luthwaite at the moment. And that's 0.3, the margin between those two. Closest battle in the top 10. The only other battle in the top 10 is the battle for 9th. Barry, Malcolm and Kahn. Malcolm and Kahn are catching Josh Barry. 2 Fords and a Chev. And Matty Dench is on his final lap. So Dench once again, just too good here. But are we really surprised by this by now? No is the answer. No is the answer. The way in which he just bided his time, played a very patient game through the opening third of the race, then made his move, ate it stick, and then just went out in sheer pursuit in a totally different postcode to Sergei Zagorkas, and then got him in the pit lane and extended the lead out beyond 4 seconds again. This is why he's still the benchmark and a cut above. Here is David Bernays and Colby Cowan. Cowan down the inside to 15th. Bernays gets him back on the inside. Side by side they go to where Cowan had his moment earlier in the night. He thinks better than of it this time around. He doesn't take the grass route. He'll try and send it down the inside, but Bernays is aware of that and covers that off quite nicely. Last turn coming up for Matty Dench, ladies and gentlemen. We've not seen much of him since he found clear air, but there he is taking the checkered flag. He didn't get the pole position tonight, but he's done just about everything else he needed to do to tick the box to get the job done. He wins the double.
Oh, Aaron's out of fuel.
Sweep of the racing. Oh no, Aaron Cooper, can you believe that? Out of fuel on the run to the line. Look like goes third. Dench does the double at Mazzano. Round 1 of Waste Options GT3 Pro. Sergei Zagorka second. Aiden Luthwaite. Aaron Cooper, Mark Gomez the top 5. So Cooper ran out of fuel. Compton sputtered across the line. Well clear of anybody else. Gomez was 5th. 2 Porsches in the top 5. 4 different manufacturers in the top 5. The Audis of Woods and Donaldson 6th and 7th. David Johnson, the best place to the BMWs in 8th. Jordan Malcolm got by Josh Barry, held off Barry, and Fred Kahn came home in 10th. 11th, I should say. Unable to get by Barry, despite the fact that Malcolm was able to do so. Yep. New season, new car, same Matty Dench. The more things change, Dave, the more they stay the same, mate. Thanks for tuning in as always. Fred Kahn was 11th, Jackson Dialchuk, Kung Wong, Dave Riddell, David Bernays, Colby Cowan, Richard Mitchum, Jonathan Hooper, he'll rue what might have been Richard Mitchum, Jonathan Hooper, Glenn Arnott, and Nick Wood make up those that finished the race. Whew. Rain Campbell's got the job done again in GT3 Pro-Am. The pace he showed earlier in the night, I don't think anyone's remotely surprised by that. He won by 13 seconds, even despite starting 10th and having to work his way through the field. Damien Cairns got back to second. Dale Sharp, a magnificent run to third. Dane Snadden, the best of the Mustangs there, in 4th place. Michael Brennan, 2 top 5 finishes for him tonight. Greg Heaney fought back well after that disappointing run in race 1. Bobby Camo, Gavin Simpson, Eduardo Zamora, and Adam Chiplin, the top 10 in the feature for Waste Options GT3 Pro-Am. And as far as the results here are concerned, yep, Aiden Luthwaite third, as Aaron Cooper coughed and spluttered across the line. 13.1 separated the top 4, 4.3 the winning margin. And yeah, Sergey was in a different postcode compared to everybody else except Matty Dench. And Gomez made up the top 5. Woods, Donaldson, Johnson, Malcolm, Barry made up the top 10. Kahn was 11th. 6 different manufacturers in the 10, folks. Make a note of that. That is very important as far as the overall scheme of the championship is concerned, because we were worried that it was going to be a 2-horse race. But there's so much more of a spread and so much more love for the other manufacturers than we might have anticipated based on all the hype pre-season. And we'll get the thoughts of Kurt Nomenson and Greg Heaney on that in just a few moments' time. They've just joined us here in the booth. We'll have the AM split results for you very shortly too, folks. Both races 1 and 2 there. But yeah, it was billed as a 2-horse race, and yet 6 different manufacturers in the 10. No one can swear at me by disputing the parity here. It's fantastic. The balance of performance. Corvette on top, 2 Stangs in the 10, and all the other mainstays right in the middle. Let's get the post-race show underway. Kurt Nomenson, good evening to you.
How are we?
Better than your situation earlier in the evening. Just talk us through it. Have you got the power back fully?
Yeah, so my house didn't get affected by the power, but literally across the bridge, across the river, where I work, lost power completely. The entire side of town. My side, fine.
Extraordinary. You do get lucky sometimes. Jordan Malcolm's here as well to join us for post-race discussion as well. Looking forward to getting his thoughts in just a moment. Here are the AM split results for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't have any idea who's driving what here. Make the most of the...
Oh, I can clear that up for you. I'm in there.
I was going to say, because you might be able to help me, Kurt, because at the end of the day, I can only tell so much from those. Thank you, Adam Lavis. Perfect. Porsche on top. Porsche second. Audi third. Ferrari 4th. That's the best place Ferrari of the night. Ford in 5th through you, Kurt. We'll get to that in a moment. Jason Tierman in the Ferrari 6th. Corey Horter in a Porsche 7th. Patrick Hernal, Porsche 8th. Chev, first of the Corvettes in 9th. And another Stang in 10th through Adam Johnson. So Pavlo Hanna, the winner there. Liam Amos and Janash Ragwani, Mark McNamara, Jason Tierman, the top 5, just for clarification there, folks. The second race, the feature, Jacob Vickery on top. And that looks like one of the Corvettes, am I right? No, Ferrari. Ferrari on top. Pavlo Hanna in second. Janash Ragwani again third. Mark McNamara 4th. And Jason Tierman 5th. Kurt's home in 6th place. Corey Horter, Patrick Hurdle, Adam Johnson, Adamson John. Ambo's back. Good to see. Quite an even spread of manufacturers there again in AM as well, which is really good to see. Again, folks, I can read the logos any day of the week, but those car graphics are just a little bit too small for my eyes at this point. Kurt, to you first. Your thoughts on the night that was. We missed the supercar race due to the blackout at Adam's end, but Road America served up some good stuff from what I did see through Chris Stark after the fact. And also, your thoughts on Mazzano and the new season and the new car.
Yeah, the supercar's a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting to get in the top 40, honestly. I was very off pace. Got the new rig set up, so I'm still learning all my braking markers again, all my turning, because the force feedback is a lot stronger with this wheel, and all that kind of stuff. So happy with a top 40 result at Road America, and yeah, Mazzano, a lot of fun. Wow. The track flows really, really well, actually.
Okay, I'm going to come back to Mazzano in a sec. Let me focus on Road America. Extraordinarily clean from all reports as well. For the most part, everybody's behaved themselves, which is hard to believe in a 60-car field, mate. But the problem we're going to have now is if we keep getting 60, there's going to be some circuits that won't accommodate that. So, extraordinary interest in the new season. From your standpoint, the step up from the old car to the new car, are you liking that?
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit quicker in the older car, but with time, I think I could definitely get a lot quicker, as well as getting used to the rig. I think that's the main thing. For me, getting pace in any of the cars, really, at the moment.
All right, very nicely done. And I guess as well, the makeup of the supercar calendar is quite an interesting one, but still the same format. If those numbers keep up, it'll be interesting to see what the committee does. Least of all, what the split will be between Super 2 and Super 3. But it looks like you're going to have no shortage of playmates for the next 9 weeks in that championship. Yeah,
it looks like it's going to be a very exciting championship, and I hope I don't get scheduled on too late at work too many times to miss too many races if it starts getting filled and they don't split it up.
Well, that's exactly right. That is going to be the talking point. How many people might miss out on those smaller circuits because not all of them have a 60 track density, folks. So good luck to the committee tomorrow night when they discuss the ins and outs of the season ahead. And Chris Stark absolutely blown away by the interest in that championship at the moment. We weren't sure what the impact was going to be with the switch of car, but obviously it hasn't done him any disservice to this point. Let's focus on GT3, mate, in the AM split. So obviously the big talking point here, I didn't see the grid size for you guys, but we had 32 here in Pro. We had 38 to 40, I think, in Pro-Am. What was the field size in Am, if you don't mind me asking?
We had 11, but I think a lot of it is some people still haven't accepted their Am invitations, all that fun sort of stuff. So I think they might have joined the Pro-Am on accident.
Yeah.
Am. So we'll see next round to see if the field grows a little bit more, because 11 people was still good racing, but wasn't as big as it could have been.
In saying that as well, folks, when you look through the numbers, that's still in excess of 80 cars across 3 splits tonight to start the new term. So extraordinary numbers there. From your standpoint, mate, how much time did you spend with the new car learning it? It was interesting to get your thoughts on Mazzano as well. the fact that it flies well, because many people would look at this and say it's not the best GT3 circuit. It's more commonly associated with bike racing in the real world, but obviously you haven't minded it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not amazingly suited for GT racing, but it still flows really nice. I think it definitely chews up the tires. The track isn't nice on the tires. By the end of, I think, lap 10, we were all complaining about our tires being completely dead. So yeah, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time learning Misano though. I was actually practicing for the global tour at Daytona with the BMW in the rain.
Yeah, Sean Benici just confirming that there's a few of you that were supposed to be in AM that were in Pro-Am, naughty boys. But in saying that, that can all be sorted out internally, ready for next week, I'm sure. Let's just bring the calendar up at this point in time, Adam, so I can pick Kurt's brain on this one, and give me your thoughts on that suite of races right there, mate. I mean, Brands Hatch, we know how much Denchi loves that circuit, so there's already a few people very concerned about how next week might play out. Spa for a 90-minute race, not the Nordschleife, but instead we still go to the Nürburgring, just use the Grand Prix layout. Where there's a real Italian flavour to this season, ladies and gentlemen. Mugello in Italy, the only one we're missing is Monza. Road America, the Hockenheimring, Algarve, and Fuji. What are your thoughts? What do you like? What don't you like?
Honestly, I don't see a track I don't like on here. I think a lot of these tracks really do suit GT3 racing, so it should be a really, really good season, actually.
All right, and how much time and effort's gone into the other categories that we've got coming up later in the week, mate? And when will we see you next on track?
I'll be running probably the introductory Formula and Wings and Slicks. So Tuesday night I might do production cars, and then the Radical and IndyCar for the most part. So I'll be spending a lot of time tomorrow doing most of my practicing, I think, with my day off from work. That's the main time constraint, is I'm doing a lot more shifts recently.
Yes. Hey, got to pay the bills somehow, mate. More shifts the better.
I had to pay for the rig
as long as the tax man doesn't catch up with you too badly. Hey, well done, mate. Just one comment from you, and I'm going to ask everybody else on this as well. We were surprised, given how much hype there was around the whole arrival of the Corvette and the arrival of the Mustang, just how many of the other manufacturers were still very well represented tonight.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to comfort in the driving, because the Corvette is very much a floaty car from what I was hearing from some of my guys from the team at Lame Sheep. They were going to run it for Daytona, decided not to because it wanted to kill them at the bus stop, and the Mustang apparently drives like a boat to some people. So it's all down to driving style, I think, with those cars.
Indeed. Just to update you too, folks, I've been talking about the tennis throughout the course of the evening. Alex de Minaur is about to walk out onto court, but what was interesting was that first match that Channel 9 was showing today, the day 8 schedule getting underway out there on court number 2, and Massetti up against the Frenchman Perricard. He's raced out to a 4-1 lead in the fourth. He lost the first 4-6. He's won the next two 6-3, 6-3, and then leads 4-1. So it looks as though Perricard's day is done at Wimbledon. Alex de Minaur next up, of course. That is coming up at 10 o'clock up against another Frenchman in Phils, and that'll be on court 1, and that'll be on 9 Gem in just a few moments' time. So we'll make this post-race show as painless, as short, sharp and sweet as we possibly can, so we can all go and enjoy the tennis. Hey, Kurt, well done, mate. Thanks for stopping in to have a chat with us, and looking forward to watching more action from you throughout the, not just the course of the rest of the week, but also the rest of the season as well, mate. Go well.
All right, thank you.
Jordan Malcolm, welcome back to you. I wasn't even remotely surprised to see the Ford logo next to your name, mate. Just to clarify, ladies and gentlemen, when the data and the graphics are on my screen here, the logos are so much easier to pick up and know what the hell I'm talking about than the pictures of the cars themselves. Let's have a chat to Jordan Malcolm, though, as Rain Campbell joins us in the booth as well. We'll have a chat to him just in a few moments' time. We've got Greg Heaney and Matty Dench as well. We'll get to those two in a tick. Jordan, initially, the most obvious question for you, how much better is that thing compared to the GT as you continue your association with Ford?
Unfortunately, it's only a slight upgrade in my race at the moment. So compared to all the other GT cars, it's still a little bit down just the way it handles, but it sounds a lot better. It feels okay, but still getting used to it.
And it looks a lot better too, mate. I don't mind saying either. Hey, nice to have you on board. Let's talk about the car as a whole. A lot of excitement around it when it dropped in the server. How much time have you spent over the last few weeks getting familiar with it?
I've spent a fair bit of laps trying to get used to this thing. Unfortunately, I did get both of them. And in my eyes, Corvette is actually the better one. But, you know, I'm a Ford guy, so we'll stick with the Mustang. So, in my opinions on it, it just understeers after a couple of laps, and then just have snap oversteers as well. So, I think there was a lot of Mustang spinning out tonight, especially during the tight stuff.
Hello to Adam Burhop on that note. He had a shocker with it.
Yes, but so it's just managing that. Just the snappiness and the understeer of it. It's a bit unpredictable, but I think as the more you drive it, the more we'll understand how it goes, I guess.
Well, that's true. And I guess the other thing as well, mate, we know that iRacing's no stranger to, dishing out patch updates, pop updates, etc. and so forth. So hopefully a little bit of tweaking and tuning for this car in the weeks ahead.
That's hopefully the goal. But if it's anything like real life, you can sort of see why the Mustangs are nowhere in real life as well. And the only place it was competitive was Le Mans. So
yeah, that's true.
It loves its straights. So looking forward to Spa in a couple of weeks. But I reckon Brands Hatch is going to be another rough one.
Oh, it's going to be a struggle indeed. You're right. Quickly get your comments on this circuit here, Mazzano. I mean, not necessarily from a car standpoint, but from a personal standpoint. Is it a circuit that you like?
It was my first laps around it, so...
oh, wow. There you go.
So, initially it was very much a struggle, and I was hating every minute of it, but towards the end I got into a rhythm, and by the end of the second race, just very annoyed with myself. Got the off track at the final corner of the last lap, and that was my only incident point of the race, so... But I got into a rhythm of it, and it isn't actually too bad once you get the hang of it.
Indeed, and I guess also the other thing I have to ask you, we were only showing race 2 for you guys. We saw race 1 from the Pro-Am, so you worked your way up in the second race from 16th up into 9th, up 7 spots, mate. So obviously that's a tick in the box, but what happened in race 1?
Obviously I was still just getting used to the track, so just qualified on race fuel, started 22nd, and just slowly worked my way forward just through attrition.
Yep, and had to work hard in the closing stages there to reel in Josh Barry and find a way past cleanly, also in a Mustang, I might add.
Of course. Just to show you how good the Mustang was, that was the battle for the lead Mustang. Unfortunately, Hobbo dropped out. He was the leading Mustang, but
and I don't think that surprised anybody that the great man was back in the saddle and on top again.
He was up the front again.
As far as the Mustangs were concerned, yeah.
Yes, he was by far the quickest Mustang out there. But good to beat a leading Mustang in the second race there. Unfortunately, to his internet connection, but we'll try and do more laps in preparation for Brands Hatch and hopefully keep it as the leading Mustang.
Indeed. Now, here's some news for you too, ladies and gentlemen. Just coming through, the WBBL fixture and the BBL fixture are due in the next couple of weeks. The WBBL fixtures confirming that the Brisbane Heat will play a standalone match at the Gabba on Saturday, the 9th of November, up against the Adelaide Strikers. So looking forward to that. Shame I won't be able to go because I'll be out at Morgan Park in Warwick, but that's another story for another day. Hey, when you look at the rest of the calendar there, Jordan, what other circuits might help you with this car? Because as we say, I mean, you can just about put a line through Brands Hatch. But I'm looking at some of those other circuits, particularly Road America, and as you say, Spa, maybe even Mugello, and maybe even Algarve as circuits that might just work for you.
Maybe. I mean, Mugello possibly not, just because it might be a bit too high speed. But Imola, Road America, possibly. Nürburgring, I tend to go okay at, so I might be able to drag something out. But it's just going to be mostly Spa, I reckon the Mustang's looking forward to, and that's about it from that calendar, and maybe Road America.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. And what else is going to keep you busy this season? Will we see you fanging around in the Porsche as well, or not?
We might dabble in the Porsche. I haven't actually driven it since its update, but always with me, I've got GT4 circled, so
Very nice.
That's the one I'll be focusing on, I think.
It's not on broadcast at the moment this term, ladies and gentlemen, but if that changes, we will let you know. Hey, George, great to catch up with you, mate. Thank you for that. Well done tonight, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Rain Campbell, coming to you in just a moment. Matty Dench and Greg Heaney. Greg, I'm going to start with you. Good evening to you, sir. Aidan Luthwaite, again, flying the flag for you guys quite nicely up here in the pro split. With I think I'm right in saying a fourth and a third tonight. However, can we talk about your performance? Because you've had a couple of interesting results as you acquaint yourself beautifully with that Chev Corvette tonight. We saw race 1, you had a moment there, but race 2 looks as though it went pretty bloody good, mate.
Yeah, good to be back.
It is.
Yeah, race one, not so much. I think the setup I had in the car just didn't suit the track temperature. It was just the back of the car was just not stable. It wasn't there. So changed the setup out for the second race, and it behaved a little bit better than what it did in the first one. So, but no, good to see Aidan up near the top of the field again. He was pretty adamant in going the Lambo again this season.
Well, yeah.
Jackson was tossing up between the Corvette because we were intending to run that for Spa in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And then he's then switched back over to the Audi because he couldn't quite get his head around the Corvette. Fred was tossing up between the Corvette or the Beamer. I just saw him on the broadcast before. He went with the Corvette, so that was good to see. I lost track of everybody because I had 10 drivers, including myself tonight. It was, I think we're outnumbering the Aussie E-Racer boys at the moment.
Absolutely. Actually, talk us through that, mate, because as we say, there was so much talk, hype, and whatever else with regards to Ford v Chev. It hasn't amounted to much in terms of we were expecting it to be the majority. That hasn't turned out to be the case. There's still a good sprinkle of the other manufacturers. For you guys, did that just come back to creature comforts?
Well, very much so. I didn't force it on anybody to say, hey, this is what you're driving. It's what do you want to drive, and I'll sort your livery pretty much. Whatever the guys are comfortable with, I have no issues with them driving that. So we did do some of us did do a wet session around the island in the Corvettes 2 weeks ago, and we found that it is very easy to drive in wet conditions. So we will see what happens if the weather gods show up through this season as to how it pans out. But it's just whatever the guys are comfortable with driving, no issues at all. So.
No, and the cars look strikingly brilliant as per usual, mate. So well done on that.
Is there enough yellow there for you?
I'm liking the increase. Yes, I did notice there was a little bit of an increase in that. So well done. And 10 points for that. It just looks too much like a Parramatta livery. That's the only thing. But anyway, hey, no, well done, because it's been a great start of the season for you. And particularly for Aidan Luthwaite, and he held off Aaron Cooper there in the closing stages as well. So a good start of the season. What are your thoughts on the calendar, mate?
I'm looking forward to it. I was hoping Spa might have fallen before the actual Spa race for the 24, but it is what it is. Certainly get some practice in for it.
I'm gonna back us in for some rain there, just quietly.
I've no doubt there will be some rain in the official 24, and Adam may play weather god again and throw us some rain for the 90-minute session. So at least we would have had some practice. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the current season. I think Hockenheim might be the only one that's I might stumble on. The rest of the tracks I'm pretty good with. So
Indeed, you are. And I guess the other thing as well, mate. I mean, a fair bit of change with regards to it's a vastly different looking schedule. And obviously we've gone from 2 splits back to 3, and that's seen you run in what is a very healthy Pro-Am field.
Oh, very much so. And as Kurt mentioned before, we have a feeling that there was probably a few in there that may not have supposed to have been in there. I know there was a lot of newcomers.
Yep. One of them's just below you, actually, in the chat thread here.
Yeah, no, Ren was... Well, are you talking about Matt Dench? No, Ren... Oh, credit to Ren. He was absolutely flying through our race.
Actually, just before you go on there, Greg, Ryan, welcome into you. I am going to have a chat to you in more detail in just a moment, but are you affiliated with any team yet, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
I am, mate. Twitch
okay, bad luck, Greg.
All over
bad
him.
luck.
Otherwise, I probably would have bailed him up already.
That's exact. I was just setting up that line of communication if there was a possibility for you, mate. No, that's all right. We'll come back to Ray in a moment.
He had the digital race engineer all over that car, and just watching it sail off in the distance in race 1.
Greg's been known to pick up the strays, the ones that haven't already been picked up. That's the only reason. If you're a long-time viewer of our platforms, you'll know that already, of course, ladies and gentlemen. And he's a very good talent scout. There's no doubt about that. Thoughts on the rest of the week, firstly, mate? Some great racing ahead. What's on the agenda for you guys?
Myself, I know Dane Snadden, most likely Aiden, not 100% sure on Jackson yet, will be taking part in the SFLs tomorrow night. I'm going to try and at least get us inside the top 20 and hope we can get into the interleague comp. Will be very nice for that. If we can get enough in there, we probably end up making up half of the GSRC grid representation. So yeah, we're hoping to get a chunk of us in for that. We'll be taking part in the Downforce Legends. I'm still umming and ahhing on the Porsche Cup. I know some of the other boys are going to be doing that. Andrew Neal is hoping to be able to do Porsche Cup, but he's not 100% sure if timing's going to work for him or not yet. And I think Jackson was looking at doing IndyCar on Friday. So
yes, yeah. We're very excited about the return of IndyCar, no doubt about that. I'm not sure if I asked you for your thoughts on this circuit, mate. I mean, I'm more commonly associated with motorcycle racing, but we saw some good car racing around here tonight.
Yeah, I'm happy with the track. I do enjoy it, though after 3 hours of it on Saturday night by myself, I'm happy to see the end of it.
I love it. I love it. Too much of something is sometimes too much. It's not Bathurst, it's not Road America, where too much is never enough. But yes, too much of Mazzano. We're happy to see the back of it for the moment. Hey, very nicely done, Greg. Nice to catch up with you for the first time this term, mate. We'll see you later in the week.
No worries. Cheers, Zach. Thanks very much.
So Maddie and Ryan, Rain, I should say. Maddie, let's start with you. Corvette did good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Did a couple practice laps last night, and it was absolutely horrible. And then when I joined the race over there tonight, I was looking over the setup, and I noticed that iRacing is throwing a bit of a curveball, and the ARB bars are opposite of all the other cars. So we've reset those back to where they're meant to be, and the car drives exactly as you think it would. So yeah, really fun there.
Richard Mitchum picked you for pole position, mate, but in saying that, you restored order in race 1. Then you had to work really hard to push through the field in race 2. But once the floodgates opened and you had clear air, you couldn't have tracked down Sergey any quicker if you tried. However, we need to talk about the cheekiness of your pit exit, please.
The pit exit shenanigans kind of ended up
How good was that?
inside of each other, and I moved across to the left a bit so I could see where I was going. And then as you turn right to get to the exit cones, I went all the way to the wall, and he literally couldn't see anything, and he just kept turning right and bumped the walls.
Oh dear. I mean, for anyone that didn't see it at home, here it is again. We're just replaying it on the screen here. Denchi, I'm certain that had this been a real world situation, one of you would have had to have yielded. But that's the joys of iRacing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether he would have had to like sit in the box because I was so close when he was getting released, or whether I would have just slowed down. I'm not too sure.
All right, copy that. And that being said, you would have been able to do the talking on the track anyway, as was proven by the fact that you won the thing by 4 seconds. First time we've run at Mazzano, mate. So impressions of this circuit?
Yeah, I mean, I brought the track yesterday along with the car, and yeah, I don't know, I put in probably like 30 laps yesterday trying to work out the track, but yeah, it's quite a fun track. It's got a nice flow to it. Probably favours these mid-engine cars quite a bit more than something like the Mercedes or the new Ford. So yeah, should be a good season.
Indeed. Right now, yeah, Andrew Neal saying there should have been a penalty for you, Denchi, and Sergey as well. However, in saying that, let's talk about this new season, this new calendar. What do you like? What don't you like?
I think Spa and there was a couple of tracks towards the end. I think Road America might be a little bit of a struggle. Fuji, I think like the mid-engine cars are probably going to struggle on those sort of tracks. But for the rest of it, like Nürburgring, Mugello, Imola, Hockenheim, Oldgrave, they're going to be really good for these mid-engine cars. So it should be quite fun.
There's a few circuits here, as we all know, that we've seen before. We know that you'll be licking your lips at Brands Hatch next week, mate. We know that you enjoy that circuit.
Yeah, Brands, the Nürburgring GP circuit, Imola, Hockenheim, they're right up there for tracks that I really like. So yeah, yep. Looking forward.
Did you do any pre-season training, for lack of better words, with the Mustang at all?
I haven't brought the Mustang. Okay. I heard on the grapevine that it drives like a boat, so I was like, I'll just go with buying one car for the moment, and we'll work out what if we'll buy it for next season. So we'll sort of come across that bridge when we get to it.
I feel as though we've hyped it up too much, mate. Because when you look at the evenness of the spread from one manufacturer to another, there were 7 on the grid tonight, and yet all the rave before the off season was that it was going to be Ford v Chev with a few sprinklings of other cars, but it did not turn out to be that in the slightest. Were you surprised by that?
I thought the Mustang and the Corvette were going to sort of be the favourites. It's usually how iRacing does things, but I think they've kind of slotted them in quite well. I think it's probably going to take a little bit for people to work out what the car's like in terms of setup. Like I come across that little thing last night where it drove really bad last night, but yeah, found those couple clicks I needed and it came good. So.
All right, very nice. And as for the opposition, can anyone stop you this term? I mean, you're going for 11 straight.
I mean, the guys are pretty quick. There's like, the top 5 there were all quite close in lap times. I think it's definitely possible. Yeah, like the season sort of favours for these mid-engine cars, and they're all in the mid-engine cars, so anything can happen.
Indeed. And what else is on Matty Dench's racing calendar this term? Will we see you come in on a Thursday night and make a run for Porsche Cup number 10?
Yeah, we'll definitely jump in the Porsche Cup and try grab that number 10 there, and kind of eyeing off super formulas for tomorrow night, but not sure if I'm going to commit to them. They are quite fun cars to drive, but I've never really been a big fan of open wheelers, so we'll just sort of play that one by ear.
This is very true.
And just to clarify, so same colours but different team name. Is it a different team or just a rebranding?
Different team.
Ooh, well picked up, Adam. I didn't see that. Please elaborate, sir.
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to try some new avenues. So me and Simon have moved over to a new team, and quite excited to see where the adventures take it.
So both you and Simon have up and gone. Ooh,
Yep.
Interesting. Actually, where was Nico tonight, please?
Not sure. He was doing some RC racing last night, or yesterday. So
Oh, yeah.
not too sure where he was today.
All right. Interesting. Hey, I think we might leave it at that because I get the feeling we'll get a chance to chat to you on more than a few occasions throughout the course of the next 10 weeks. Well done. The other splits, as we saw, were dominated by mainstay manufacturers, but you put the Chev on top on its opening night on the GSRC platforms, as we suspected you bloody would. So well done on that, and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday, mate. Go well.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get it a trophy on its debut. But yeah, we'll catch everyone later through the week.
And just confirm what I was saying there earlier, that there's had to be an extension built on your residence there because there's not enough room in the trophy cabinet anymore. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. We're just dedicating a whole room to the trophies now. At this.
Yeah. At this point, it's just a case of planning ahead in Denchi's case. More shelving, please. Well done, mate. Fantastic. Great start to the new term, and looking forward to seeing what comes of the next 9 weeks. Go well.
Yeah, thanks. We'll catch everyone later.
Rain, thanks for waiting around, mate. I feel as though last one in gets the treatment of bringing us home as far as the broadcast is concerned here. But give us your background, because I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've had you in a GSRC post-race show. Are you one of our newbies?
Yeah, mate. Yep. So first race tonight. I've been on iRacing in the past, but I only come back to it sort of March, April, I think. So it's taken a bit of time to get back up to speed and learn how to drive these cars again. It's been 5-6 years now. So yeah, slowly coming along.
Interesting, because as soon as you said I've come back to iRacing, you answered the next questions I had. How long's it been? But you've proven that it doesn't take too long in the grand scheme of things to pick it up again. So, I mean, the circumstances for the absence doesn't matter, but what brought you back? What was the appeal?
Oh, look, I've been, so over the years, like I've done a lot of things from like Forza esports to Gran Turismo, that sort of thing. I got over Gran Turismo, so that's what I've just come back from. So I was doing a lot of league racing there for a lot of time. Didn't really have the budget to run iRacing, sort of buy tracks all the time, that sort of thing. And then sort of took some time away, come back, started the, March or April, or whatever it was, with a poor laptop, crap stuff, and pretty much changed equipment from every single month at the moment. It went from like a T300 Thrustmaster and just a single monitor to 3 screens, to ultra wides, back to 3 screens, to a Fanatec, and then a Moser. It's only progressed. So it was more budget based than anything, really.
And that's a fair call. I mean, everyone's running on a budget at the moment. I mean, even here in Central Commentary, I must say I'm holding off buying a new PC setup at the moment. However, in saying all of that, give us, join the dots for us. Why Twitchy Foot and why GSRC? Who's the connection here?
Look, I race, so I come back and didn't do any officials, and one of my friends that's been doing iRacing, we met in 2016 through F1 League racing, has been doing He did GSRC last season for a little bit, and then we do a lot of Premier Endurance League as well. And that's sort of where it's developed. And I wanted to do a little bit more racing. Time's a little bit conscious because I work all day and I got 2 kids and a wife. But yeah, I wanted to do a little bit more. And then we met Ben through PEL. And yeah, we clicked and was doing some driving there. And I really liked the Audi, and we linked up over some setups and sort of went from there.
Interesting. And I guess everyone's got their own preference with race cars. So, and given time constraints and whatnot, is GT3 going to be your sole focus?
Look, I'm trying to be competitive. I'm trying to focus to be competitive in these at the moment. Unfortunately, my nature is I'm a very competitive person, and I want to be good in what I'm doing. I've found in the past that when I've
fit in very well here.
I've found that when I've swung between multiple things, it's sort of gone the wrong way, and I lose my way a little bit trying to push in whatever it may be without learning sort of how to do it properly in one. I want to do the Porsche Cup, but that's a very different car to this, and then I don't want to spend, say, half a week trying to do that and then half a week trying to do that, and yeah, so we'll see. I might do a couple of cameos of the Porsche Cup, but we'll just see how we go.
Indeed. Now, let's talk about tonight. That couldn't have started any better, but you've probably made your rod for your own back there, because I dare say you might get a promotion into the top split, into the pro split very shortly. 13 seconds to the good in both races. So let's start with, talk me through the selection process for why we went with the car that we went with, because as I said during the call, it was interesting to see the dynamic didn't shift as much as we thought it was going to. We thought it was just going to be a glorified supercar session, but in GT3 trim instead of V8 with the Ford V Chev thing. But that didn't appear to be the case at all, especially in GT3 Pro-Am, which is where you were. Not only that, the Mazzano circuit's a new one to our server. That's the first time our GT3 Championship has run here. And furthermore, you would have had to have worked your way through the field with a little bit of overtaking exercise in race 2 with the invert top 10. So just talk us through your night and what you made of it.
Yeah, look, I chose the Audi because I drove the only car I had when I come back was the BMW. Drove that for the season in the other league. Didn't like it at all, couldn't drive it to how I want to drive the car. So I binned that, and I was sort of tossing between the Audi and the Ferrari because I don't have the Porsche. I was going to buy it, but I was sort of tossing between the two, did some laps in both, and really clicked with the Audi, and I've just done officials every week with it since then and really enjoyed it. So that's where my decision for that came from. In terms of tonight, I didn't expect that. I was obviously testing with Ben and the other Twitchy Foot guys throughout the week, and my pace was pretty comparable to Ben and Richard and Nick's sort of pace. So I was confident that I could be quick, but I didn't sort of know where the pace would be in that, where obviously in Pro-Am I didn't know sort of what was going to happen. I was just trying to sort of drive my race and keep my head down and just do what I knew I could do from a pace point of view. Because we obviously did the 3-hour enduro earlier in the weekend, which helped a lot, and I could tell the pace was pretty good. It was just I didn't know how it was going to go compared to, because I haven't really watched too many of the broadcasts either, so I didn't really know how things ran either. So I was just sort of driving my race and seeing where we ended up and that sort of thing.
And I guess it'd be remiss of me not to ask you about a couple of things, because as you say, it's been a while between drinks on iRacing. So part of the re-education this year would have been the introduction of the Tempest weather system. So what are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on the schedule that awaits you here on a Monday night with us?
Yeah, look, weather, to be honest, isn't really a new thing to me, just because I've played a lot of different sims with a lot of different weather and things like that. Probably to the iRacing guys that have done that for so long, it's probably something that's quite new, because obviously that's never existed. Playing so many different games and doing so many things with wet weather all the time and things like that, it's not really too new to me, so I sort of picked it up pretty quick. Like the first couple of races was a league race where I was on the podium for that, so it was not too bad. And in terms of the schedule, really looking forward to it. They're all tracks that I really like. Other than Spa, I'm a big hater of Spa, but that's another story.
We'll
but
cover
no.
that off in a couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah. But no, calendar looks really good. I'm really looking forward to it. Hockenheim in particular. Really like that track.
Okay, and it's in sprint mode as well, which always produces some fireworks based on previous experience. Hey, mate, well done tonight. Couldn't have asked for much more than what you achieved in Pro-Am. And as I said when you won race 1, congratulations on your promotion. Because it'll be interesting to see what you bring to the table. That's going to be the next test, isn't it? If I'm right, my gut instinct is right, then the next test for you is going to be pushing yourself up against the guys in our pro split that have been here for quite some time and are well established in this caper.
Yeah, so that's the idea. Like, I feel like as long as I'm sort of comparable to Ben, sort of Ben, Nick, and Richard, I feel like I can do pretty well. So we'll see how we go. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Obviously, without the support of Digital Race Engineer, P1 Sim Gear, and Twitchy Foot Racing, I wouldn't be where I am at the moment. So we'll see how we go.
All right, very nicely done, mate. Thanks for stopping on by. Thanks for being patient enough to hang around until we had a chance to get to you there. We do appreciate that, and we're looking forward to catching up with you a little bit more throughout the course of the rest of the season.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Have a great night.
That is a terrific recruit, or a bit of recruitment work, I should say, by the boys at Twitchy Foot. No doubt about that. Hey, quickly, folks. Wow. It's a case of blink and you'll bloody miss it at Wimbledon. Alex Demonor, 5-1 opening set, 22 minutes of play on court number 1. The other match that we were following, of course, was that contest out on court number 2, and that has already wrapped up as well as we suspected it might. Court number 2 done. Mercedes through 4-6, 6-3, 6-3, 6-2 over Pericard. And Demonor already 5-1 to the good in the opening set of his 4th round match. We might actually get an early night after all. I think you'll be able to book his ticket into the quarterfinal very, very shortly. And of course, you will see that quarterfinal live on the Wide World of Sports on Wednesday night from 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And for viewers in the eastern states, and also I do believe I'm right in saying South Australia and the Northern Territory, that'll start on the main channel as well. So make a note of that. And of course, for Western Australia, you'll switch across to 9 from 9 Gem at some point. Magnificent. What a clinical opening set from Demonor. We couldn't do what we do here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club without the great support of people like Waste Options, as well as merch.tgsrci.com. Don't forget, we'll plug that more in just a moment, folks, but that's where you get your GSRC embroidered paraphernalia. Orbic Australia, good on you, Pete Matson. Lobesy Racing, good to see Treno back on board for another season. And of course, M-Wave Australia, Flash Graphics, and the naming right sponsor of the club at the moment, Sprayton Cider. Speaking of which, we'll get to Sprayton Cider Thursday Night Motorsport in just a few moments' time. Extraordinary opening night. We were a little bit delayed off we missed the jump thanks to the power outage at the director and producer's end. In fact, it wasn't just an isolated situation. The entire Northern Rivers having issues with that tonight. But the wait was worth it. The racing there at Mazzano, top shelf in both Pro-Am and Pro, and looking forward to next week bringing you some of the AM action as well. A great way to start the season, and I echo the thoughts of everybody else. It's good to be back. Yep, we've had 2 weeks off. We've recharged the batteries, but nothing like getting stuck back into it. Let's have a look at what's coming your way on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube for the rest of week number 1. Let's walk you through some changes here. We will be on air Thursday night. We'll get to that in a minute. Introductory formula launches tomorrow night. 5, similar to the on-trainer Wednesday night. 5 different cars. You'll see them twice throughout the course of the championship. So that's where Formula V's buggered off to, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to kickstart with them tomorrow night. Sprint racing there from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from the Mazzano World Circuit. Introductory formula. 5 different cars across 10 weeks. And I believe, actually, is it 2 or 3 sprint, Adam?
Two. It's the same, but both the production car and the Formula introductory formula are the same format.
Okay.
Downforce
Because
Legend.
originally that was going to be 3 to follow the Formula V format, wasn't it? Was that a late change?
Oh, actually, no, I didn't actually. I'm mistaken. It might be the 3 race bit. I double check. I think it is. But yeah. So the production cars are 2 race sprint, and then Downforce Legends it flicks between the 2 race sprint and the 40-minute races.
All right, looking forward to that. Hey, thank you for that. Misano World Circuit tomorrow night, Formula V. That gets us underway at 8 o'clock. We're not on broadcast tomorrow or Wednesday night at this stage. We'll tell you why in a moment. Misano World Circuit for 2 sprint races for the Super Formula Lights to get us underway. So it's a double from Misano tomorrow night. And that latter race starts at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. So a slightly later start to Super Formula Lights than what we had last season. Production cars from Navarra. So that's a new circuit as well on the iRacing server in Spain. That's the Mazda MX-5s getting us underway on Wednesday night. 2 sprint races, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, followed by a trip to Motorsport for 2 sprint races. So it's a full week of sprint racing, ladies and gentlemen. How good is this going to be? From Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, the GT4 Challenge gets underway for a new season, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Thursday night, 7:25 Eastern Standard Time, join Daniel Correa, Sarah and I for Thursday Night Motorsport, straight inside of Thursday Night Motorsport. It's important to note. For Downforce Legends first up, LMP2 cars from Magello, 2 sprint races there. That's a great calendar too. A mix of 40-minute and 2 sprint race weeks, and we'll bring it to you live from 7:30, and then immediately followed by the return of the straight inside of Porsche Cup from Road Atlanta. Great selection track-wise first up for those guys. 2 sprint races, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Again, at this stage, just the 1 split to accommodate the 2 championships, the 2 races within a race, both classes 1 split. But if the numbers are there, then I can see that being divided once more. Friday night, have a look at this. The return of the IndyCar Series, the GSRC Road to Indy from the Silverstone Circuit. 35 laps on the agenda there from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Joe Baldwin will be with, to be confirmed for that one, because I'm out this week due to already booked local sporting commitments here on West Bromma Radio. I was going to, the boys approached me about doing Friday nights again during the off season, and I said I'll commit to whatever ones I'm not already booked for. So I think I'm here for about 7 of the 10 weeks. I'm looking forward to it immensely. They get underway at Silverstone on Friday night, which is prevalent because we've just been there for Formula One. Saturday, Mountain Men in the Riley MKXX from Mount Panorama Bathurst. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 32 laps the journey there. Week 2 gets underway this time next week, of course, all live and free on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Supercars kick us off from the Interlagos circuit in Brazil for 25 minutes. That's another great track selection as well. Geez, you blokes are serving up the good stuff early on in the new season, aren't you? And then the GT3s from Brands Hatch, which we know can throw up a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but next week it should be terrific. GT3, AM Split Race 1, Pro Split Race 2, 2 sprint race program. Again, second of 4 sprint rounds on the calendar, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. We're very much looking forward to your company for that, and so much more throughout the course of the season. We had a GSRC endurance round yesterday. There'll be more confirmation on what's coming up there in the weeks ahead, but we do go to Spa for 6 hours on the endurance layout in only 3 weeks' time, which will be day 2 of the Olympics. It's important to note, from Paris, and that back half of the calendar not scheduled to start until August 11, but more details on that in the weeks ahead. GSRC merch, there it is, merch.tgsrci.com or gsrcmerch.myshopify.com. Both links work, both take you to the same place, ladies and gentlemen. The website's now live, and we need to plug that more than ever because the merch store is actually sponsoring this season of the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I'm looking forward to the new range as well, if ever that comes to fruition. Hey, we're done. Really hope you enjoyed it. Apologies to the supercar fans that were left without their weekly serve of Ford v Holden, but we'll get to that next week. We may be able to squeeze in a replay of tonight's race as a catch-up fixture, if you like, somewhere later in the week. So do stay tuned to the club platforms if that happens to end up being the case. But Denchi was clinical. Of course, Rain also clinical. They both did the double in their respective servers. And in the AM split, some good racing there too, some mixed results. But one thing's for certain, the Chevys and the Mustangs have got a bit of work to do. The Audis, the Porsches, the Lambos, still threatening. And even the BMWs, in this case, through David Johnson in the top 10 in our split. It seems as though there's no love for the Merc or the McLaren anymore, but still, we've got a 7 manufacturer fight, and we're very grateful to have it. Hope you enjoyed the opening installment of the new term on the platforms of Gentleman Sim Racing Club, Season 18, if you don't mind. Night 1 of Week 1 in Term 3 of 2024, done and dusted. And our maiden visit to Mazzano for the GT3 series. Maybe not the last, based on some of the entertainment we had here tonight. Although I would strongly advise Colby Callum to invest in not doing as much lawn mowing as he did on the back straight there earlier in that second race. That was one of the more extraordinary moments of the night, in a night full of entertainment and excitement and drama. We wouldn't have it any other way. Alex Demonor has already got one set in the bag. He's on his way, if he can get 2 more, to a Wimbledon quarter-final. That continues live on the Wide World of Sports on 9Gem right now as we say goodbye. Thanks for being with us. Look forward to your company again on Thursday and Friday night for Week 1 action in Term 3. Until then, on behalf of Adam Lavis, now that the power's back on there in the Northern Rivers, and the rest of the GSRC broadcast commentary and production team here, I'm Zach Caban. Until we see you next time, thanks for being with us, folks. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Look forward to your company on Thursday night. Until then, have a great evening. Bye for now.